Today I'm going to go through how I manage my multiple different Forex accounts throughout the monthly period, how I start the month, what I do in the middle of the month, and at the end of the month, how I round off, hopefully, a profitable month every single month. So let's start with the first part of the month. So I say this is 1 to 2 weeks into the month, so kind of getting on to the middle part depending on performance. This is when I actually focus on my personal account, so the account where all the money in the account is actually mine. It's on a FCA regulated broker, obviously because I want my money to be protected. And the reason I have this at the start of the month is because I have more focus as the month just started, and because the account is solely my own personal money, so I keep 100% of the profits. This is why it is the priority at the start of the month to actually trade before any other accounts. If my account wasn't at a reasonable size where I couldn't live off the amount I make per month, risking what I risk and making what I make, then I would switch the steps around. So the middle of the month would actually be the first of the month. In these 1 to 2 weeks, I'm actually aiming for 5 to 10% profit. So I only have to make a 1 to 5 or a 1 to 10, risking 1%. Obviously, I don't trade with that high risk reward, targeting a 1 to 10. Let's say a 1 to 3, 1 to 4. These all add up. You need 2 or 3 of those in that 2 week period, which is very, very easy to do as I'm very selective with my setups I take. And then I'm done for the month with my personal account. Then I'll just leave it and not trade it until the next month comes by. The reason for this is it just stops over trading. Let's say you've reached your profit target within a week, then you have 3 weeks left of trading and you only have a personal account. This is where you can start over trading. You could potentially lose all the profits you've made, or even worst case scenario, end up going into drawdown, which obviously we don't want to see, and that's never anything we want on our accounts. And what I do with this account is I don't withdraw any money. I just let it compound and stack up over time, and using the middle of the month, how I trade there, also adds to this personal account as well. And on this account, I'm only ever receiving, tiny drawdown because of the minimal trades I actually take, maybe 3 to 4 a month, depending on the month. If you check out my WillssFX book, you can see that in the past 2 months, I've taken 10 trades and one was accidental, and it was only lost on the account, which is like a 0.01 lot size, which is very annoying. So obviously the less trades you're actually in, the lower the chance of losing, which also means the lower potential drawdown you have on your account. So what I do is I reach 5 to 10% and then I simply stop trading. Let's say I'm in a trade and I'm at 4%. I won't close as soon as it goes to 5% because that trade could go to another 4%. I can make 8%. I kind of have a ballpark between 5 and 10% where I actually aim for my profit for the month. And this account is linked to a WillssFX book, which I will drop in the description down below so you guys can see my performance. If I win or lose, you guys will know about it. So check it out. So moving on to the middle of the month. This is after I've reached a profit target on my personal account. So my personal money, my personal profit has already been made. Only now is when I actually start trading my prop firm account. And I trade them differently. That is why I have it sort of separate times of the month, because I don't want to combine my different trading styles on different accounts at the same time. This middle of the month period can be anywhere from 1 week into the month, 2 weeks into the month, depending obviously how long it takes me to make profit on my personal account. So it's not an exact date of the month. It's kind of, okay, I've made my profit target. Now we're moving on to the next stage. On these funded accounts, I trade them very, very differently to my personal account. As I mentioned, on the personal accounts, we're aiming for 5 to 10% profit. On these funded accounts, I'm just aiming for any profit because of the large account size, $2, $3, $4, $500,000 in the account. I don't really want to be forcing trades, entering so many trades to try and make 10%, 20%, 30%, like a lot of people do on their funded accounts. And obviously that is their own style. That's okay. My style is just make 3-4% and then be done until your next payout. A lot of the prop firms now actually offer bi-weekly payouts, which a lot of the firms I use offer this. So I only have to wait 2 weeks for my payouts anyway. So if I make 3-4%, that's usually over $10,000. And then I just wait 2 weeks and then you get that $10,000. Whereas if you keep trading, you can lose your $10,000 or even go into drawdown and not get any payout. And the reason I do this and not try and aim for big percentages or take all the trades I would usually take is because it's free money at the end of the day. It's money that I don't have to risk my own personal money for. After you get the first payout with these prop firms, it is then risk free. So you don't have to have any risk. Let's say you lose 10 grand, it doesn't come out of your own pocket. It just comes out of the prop firm and you don't lose any. And when you actually make profit, you get 70 to 80%. Some firms even offer up to 90% profit splits, which is very, very appetizing for a trader because I know I can make profit every month. I'm just using it to create free income every single month on top of all my other incomes. You know, I've had it before where I've been up 5% and then I try and push for 10%, 15%, or try and push for a monetary value. Let's say I want to push for 30 grand profit, but then I end up losing all my profits and then going back into drawdown because I'm forcing the trades. If I lost a trade, now I'm down to 4%. I've got to try and get it back up to 5%. And it's kind of a vicious cycle where you never are satisfied with your results. Whereas if you have a rule, okay, if I make 3 to 5% on the prop firm, I'll then be done, wait for the payout. It's simple. You know that if you reach that goal, perfect, stop trading, move on to the next stage of the month. On my current E8 account, I'm actually up 4.9% for the next payout, and I actually had to wait 11 days for this payout. So usually it's 14 days. 3 days in, I'd reached my goal of 3 to 5%, made $12,000. After the split, I get $10,000. So then I had to wait 11 days to actually get the payout for, you know, this stage of the prop firm. Whereas I could have been trading for those 11 days, could have lost all my profit. Granted, I could have made more profit, but it's better to just secure the profits, be happy with it, and take it into your bank account. It's only yours when it reaches your bank account. So now moving on to the end of the month. This is kind of usually the last week, 2 weeks of the month, depending obviously how quickly I get the first 2 stages done. So obviously my personal account is priority. Next priority is the funded accounts because this is obviously quite a lot of income as well. And the third stage, you guys probably guessed it, at the end of the month, I trade prop firm challenges. So the evaluation stages of the prop firm, the challenge and the verification. I do these at the end because they don't actually earn me any money until they're all passed. So it's not really my priority. It doesn't really matter if I don't trade them because it doesn't affect my income in any way. If I pass them next month, they will actually be in the funded account stage. Then you can link it to a copier and kind of make the same profit on all the accounts, and it all adds up, which is very, very nice. And another reason why I actually separate these, you know, I could just put my accounts on a copier and then trade all the profit and pass the challenges, you know, simultaneously. But the way I trade them is very, very differently, and it is more high risk. I was planning on doing a whole video about this if you guys want to see it. When I actually trade these accounts, because I have a lot of money outside of the prop firms, outside of trading, you know, cash wise, investments wise, and my cash flow income is very, very nice. It kind of means that if I pay £1,000 for a challenge, it's not like it's my last £1,000. It's not like I can only buy 5 challenges and then I'm bankrupt. If I fail 4 challenges trading like this, it doesn't really matter because I know one payout will cover, let's say even 10 losses. 10 account losses will be covered by one payout. So I kind of think of it as, okay, I can risk a bit more on these challenges because it doesn't really matter if I fail. Obviously, I don't fail many because I have a winning strategy. I have a very, very high win rate, but that is just an example why I actually am comfortable risking a lot more than the average trader would do so. On these stages, I risk 2 to 3% per trade, and I like to scale into my setups. If you've seen any of the videos on my channel where I'm actually passing these challenges, passing these verifications, you'll see in the title, it always says in 1 hour, in 1 day, in 3 days. This is because I risk more per trade. And as I scale into my positions, I only have to make a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 to actually make 1 to 10 overall profit. The scaling plan for the challenges and the verification means that I can risk more and make the 1 to 10 or 1 to 8 needed very, very quickly. And it kind of doesn't take up as much time from my, you know, my personal businesses, my personal trading. Let's say I was so focused on having to make another 10% per month, risking 1%, after just trading my personal account, funded account, sorting out all my businesses, it'd be very, very tricky. And I think that is why a lot of traders actually mess up on these challenges. Whereas myself personally, it's at the end of the month, it's not really high priority, so I kind of risk a little bit more, trade a bit more recklessly, which I don't recommend. But you know, I'm in the position where I can actually do it. In these stages, I try and pass as many as possible, try and pass the challenge, try and pass the verification on both stages within the end stage of the month. So then the next month, that firm is then in the middle stage where I'm actually trading it as a funded account to actually keep 80-90% of the profits. So there we go. Very, very quick video on how I manage my month as a full-time Forex trader, managing 3 different type of accounts in a month. Usually we end every single month profitable. Obviously there are going to be months where I don't make money. Let's say I'm traveling on holiday, doing other stuff, then it is a lot trickier. And this month is very, very hard to follow. And you kind of just got to trade when you can. But this is an average month. So like October, this is going to be what I'm going to be doing. Start of the month, I made 7.5% on my personal account. Then I moved on to the funded accounts, made the profit on there. So now the end of the month, which is coming up, I'm actually going to be focused on getting more capital under management for my prop firms. If you'd like to see how I manage my day or my week as a trader, this is more into detail, what is my daily routine, what hours do I trade, what do I do outside of trading, be sure to comment down below. But I'll catch you guys in the next video.